Hi again. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'd like to delve into the Bible and talk about communication and kind of the basics of it, because I believe that it's quite important in every relationship, and probably you believe so as well. That if we communicate well, then the relationship will thrive in many ways. So, shall we take a look at Genesis chapter 3, starting at verse 1? It's a New International Version and titled The Fall. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden?'" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman. "For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food, and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord called to the man, "Where are you?" He answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked. So I hid." And he said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." So the Lord God said to the serpent. Now, there we see some consequences in the following verses, but shall we skip to this verse here, to 17? To Adam he said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I command you, you must not eat." Now, this suggests that Adam shouldn't listen to his wife, but in all those circumstances, we should always listen to each other. But before actually committing to act in such a way, we should try to challenge and see what is the consequences of doing so. They both knew, Adam and Eve, not to eat from the forbidden fruit, but Adam just ate the fruit without challenging Eve. He didn't think of the consequences. And perhaps if Adam had not listened to Eve in this circumstance, at least, maybe they wouldn't have suffered. They wouldn't have been embarrassed. Now, these were only two people that was in the garden. So, what's more than an organization of 500 people, let's say? We ought to, so from this, we ought to communicate more with more people, more accountability, responsibility to communicate with them, to cascade information, to discuss with them, to build relationships, not neglect each other. So, yeah, in just this instance, we see, despite only being a small amount of people, they still had some communication problems. And as a result, they had to face the consequences afterwards. So, one thing we can learn from this is that things can actually worsen if we don't communicate, and there are consequences for our actions. In a movie called Florence Jenkins, two socialites in the 20th century are heads of different clubs, or you could say high class clubs. And Miss Jenkins would play an opera singer, playing popular tunes. Now her companion would many times refuse to acknowledge Miss Jenkins' true opera singing ability, despite of many critical comments made by others. He would always he would always downplay it, even to the point where when they were scheduled to play at Carnegie Hall, uh, they hired a pianist, and he was also embarrassed to speak up. But when he did, he would continue, or Miss Jenkins' companion would continue to downplay it, and things worsen and worsen. And Miss Jenkins soon finds out her ability is not what she thought it was, and things just get more and more complex and complicated. So I hope you learned something from this video. I'm still learning as well sometimes. I refuse to speak up, and I need to speak up more. So I hope this is something we can learn more about, speaking up and having more effective communication. Thank you guys again for listening.